For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the Dark Tower, before the Empire.
If you remain the power of the dark side,
You may fire when ready.
I'll show you the dark side. We would be honored if you would join us.
Don't worry, R2. We're going.
Back it up.
What's going on? But what you have there.
I am a Jedi, like my father.
Welcome back to Blow Wars.
Hey guys, hello.
Where's Jude?
Jude is not here.
He's in Provence or somewhere.
He's on holes.
Yeah. So it's Bradie and myself in for Jude this week. We should probably phone him at some point.
That would be
give
great.
that a go.
He'll love it.
Where the hell are we? We're in the Red Lion in Shoreditch, and we're in this room that is just like it's bloody hell. It looks like a birthday party from like 1979 is going on. The wallpaper is genuine, authentic, like 60s wallpaper.
It's green and yellow.
Yeah. There's
The sofas are
curtains look like they probably were around when the smoking ban before it went up, you know.
We're talking gold curtains,
Yeah.
red faux leather seat.
Yeah. And loads of those weird round cushion things that like strippers like lay on in
Yeah.
the 70s.
It's just
and
bizarre.
there's gold like glitter curtains, all like sort of tinsel dangling around, and balloons.
It's legitimately the weirdest room.
It's like a working man's club kind of
Yeah.
vibe, isn't it?
Yeah.
I sort of feel Bernard Manning's going to turn up any minute and start telling racist jokes over there. It's so weird. We'll get some photos of it. But we've been very lucky to find this room. We asked him to turn the music down for us so we could record the show.
Yeah.
We would record it at Jude's work, but he's not around to.
True.
Last week, we went out for a pizza after the show, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And this is me and Bradie, not Jude, sadly. And then while we were there, like we were sitting in the bar, and we'd had a few drinks. We were sitting in the bar, and both our backs were to the room. And I heard the waiter approaching with our drinks, and he said, "Okay, ladies, here you go. Here's your drinks." And then as I turned around, the guy he didn't say anything to apologise about it, but he seemed taken aback.
Yeah, it
that
was
I
really funny.
suddenly got all this hair on my face. And then I made a joke, didn't I? About like, "Oh, ladies," and then. And about 1 minute later, exactly the same thing happened with our food. So yeah, I get it a lot. Do you get mistaken for a man from behind ever?
Not this week yet.
No, okay. I get it all the time. Yeah, I wanted to mention that the pizza
but
story.
it's East London. I mean, plenty of guys have long hair.
Yeah, you'd think they'd be used to it
exactly
by now, but it's kind of a compliment in a way, because I like to think ladies have better hair generally than men do.
This is true. We do.
And maybe that is all right. Did you have a nice Easter?
Yeah, it was good. Hung out with my family in
Yes.
the wilds of Devon.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was brief, but it was fun.
Yeah.
I paid £90 on Great Western Rail for the privilege of standing for 3.5
Fuck.
hours. So that was
The way
great.
there or the way back?
The way there, I managed to get a seat because I was like the first person off the platform and into the train.
Yeah.
And on the way back, I had to stand in the middle of the carriage with a bunch of other people for 3.5 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's like a Monday night, bank holiday Monday night.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just didn't there was no warning.
Was Jeremy Corbyn sitting nearby on the floor? No, I didn't mean that. Yeah, everyone has to stand in the aisle because there's no other way, and then you've
Yeah.
got to get up when someone wants to leave.
Yeah,
and it's sort of like a
because we were
scramble
near the
to get their
toilets
seats.
and the food cart as well. So
Constantly people coming through.
yeah, people were just coming in and out. It was ridiculous.
I had an instant where I tried to get on the train the other day, and it was rammed, and I looked in the carriage, and there was nobody standing in the carriages. So I was like, everyone's just loitering the doors and blocking everybody from getting on, like a tube, like they do on the tube. So
that.
yeah, I hate that. Shout at them.
Unfun.
One of the things about Jude not being on the show this week that we can do is we can really go to town and rip up the prequels because we both hate them so much.
They're awful.
But before we do, right, let's understand you a bit better, because me and Jude have all gone through this already, because obviously we did this in episode 1. But let's take me back. How did you get into Star Wars? How did it begin? What's your earliest Star Wars memory? Not necessarily watching it, but associating it with something or recognising it or something?
I think my earliest Star Wars memory was probably when I was about 6 or 7.
Right.
And my dad took me to my nan's house. And at the time, I think one of my uncles was still living there. I think he might have been in his early 20s, maybe.
Right, okay.
And he was staying in a room there, I think. Memory's hazy, but I went in and he had all these models, like floor to ceiling, all around his room.
Right.
And my dad warned me not to touch any of them, and I wouldn't have done because the look of it terrified me anyway. But I just remember he had all these like shiny little robots, which is obviously like C-3PO and all these incredible kind of like spaceships and stuff. And although my dad told me not to touch anything, I think I remember my uncle actually like showing me like the different kind of ships and stuff. I have no real idea about what any of them were called or anything.
So you remember walking on this room?
In the room, literally like floor to ceiling, just full of figurines and little models and stuff. Yeah.
Has he still got them? Still collects?
I don't know. I don't really keep in touch with my dad's side of the family.
Oh right, I see. Okay.
But yeah,
that's fascinating. So, and then the first time you saw it, do you know what you saw?
I think I was probably about. I'll never forget it. Actually, I think I was about 10.
Yeah.
Not because it was in any kind of particular place, but we were when we stayed with my dad at the weekend. He had a really big TV and he had really heavy kind of like velvet curtains, and we would close the curtains and the whole room would go completely black like a cinema.
Yeah, love it.
And he used to let us let us do that. And I remember he told me that
How old are you
had,
here? Sorry,
it must have been about 10.
Okay, yeah.
He said he had some films that I'd really like to watch. My dad was actually a massive 80s movie fan.
Right, okay.
Now I know as a child, but I basically grew up watching 80s movies.
Yeah.
My dad also had no concept of what kids should and shouldn't watch.
Yeah.
Some of my earliest film memories are of things like Highlander.
Yeah, great.
Which is great. But like when you're a
heads
child,
getting cut off.
heads get cut off.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit weird. That and like the Dark Crystal.
Yeah, amazing.
Like all that kind of stuff is what I grew up on. But I remember,
education.
the rolling, the rolling kind of intro.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing a spaceship, and I'd never seen anything like that on screen before. When that spaceship kind of rolled into view, it completely blew
New
my
Hope,
mind.
yeah?
It just completely blew my mind. I'd never seen anything like that. I'd never seen space before, like in a movie like that.
Right.
Not that kind of scale. And this was before like Jurassic Park or any of that kind of stuff. So big cinema wasn't really a thing that I really remember as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like the first kind of like thing I remember seeing that.
Amazing.
Being blown away by that spaceship.
And that would have been what year roughly?
God, I think
So was
I
that
was
before
10. It would
the
have been 98?
Right, so the special editions you kind of missed them.
I guess so.
They came out in 97, but
yeah,
the
yeah.
cinemas then. Okay, cool. So you came in just before the prequels come
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
right? So you rapidly get caught up and sort of get really excited about Star Wars. Did you go and see the Phantom Menace at the cinema?
I did, yeah. I made my dad take me.
Right. You made him take you.
I made him take me and my sister.
I bet he was delighted.
Yeah,
he was delighted when he sat in that cinema watching that.
Yeah, I remember being like, we have to go and see it.
Yeah.
We
The excitement.
We saw all of them, I think.
There's no shame in being excited for the Phantom Menace because we didn't know.
None of I struggled to get like my mates to come and watch it with me now. Yeah. But like back then as well, like nobody knew. None of my friends gave a toss about Star Wars.
Sure. I was there
I remember
too.
reading Harry Potter before anybody knew
It's
what
hard
Harry
to
Potter
believe,
was.
but it wasn't popular in the 90s.
No.
Star Wars wasn't popular. It was something that men in their 20s liked.
Yeah.
And kids, if they were lucky, they might have been shown it by their older brother or seen it on TV.
Yeah.
But it was not something you could walk into a shop and buy Star Wars stuff.
No.
Unless you went to a specialist kind of comic book shop. It was pretty much gone. There was no sign of it in toy shops.
It's crazy when you think
About
about
1995, it all started to come back. It's as if they knew it was going to come back in a big way. But I guess I got on board just at the right time. But it was weird. For a while, there was nothing. There was just... You had to go into libraries and find film books and pictures of Star Wars in a film book.
For all I know, it could have been younger. I'm guessing about 10.
Yeah.
Between 8 and 10.
But yeah, so it had a massive impression.
Yeah, I loved it. But then, I love epic stories. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah,
which is why
sure.
then I kind of got like, which is why me and Jude are both fans of Harry Potter.
Yes, of course.
And I kind of got sucked into that as well because I was 11 when I
slightly
read
too
the
old
first
to
book.
sort of get the impact of it at school. I think I missed that. Had I been your age, or slightly younger anyway.
I remember being 11 and reading the first book in
Right.
school, and people come up to me and ask me what I'm reading. Like, no one had any idea what Harry Potter
Wow.
was.
Head of the curve there, guys.
And my nan, I have to thank for that, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So going back to the Phantom Menace day then.
Mm-hmm.
So you went to the cinema. Did you dress up?
No.
I wore a dressing gown to the cinema. I mean, I was like, you know,
amazing.
little, like, I think I must have been, 999, so it'd be 13, maybe? 13 or 14. A brown dressing gown to the cinema because it looked vaguely Jedi-ish. I don't know why I did that. But, yeah, well, I just remember halfway through the film having this horrible feeling that this doesn't feel like a Star Wars film, and the sort of disappointment. And then when I left the cinema, I kind of kidded myself I'd enjoyed the film, but there was something really unsettling and unpleasant there.
It's
I
funny
didn't
actually
want-
because in my mind, I remember even being that young, separating there is 4, 5, and 6, and there are these films.
Yes, yeah, no, I did too.
In my mind, it wasn't real Star Wars
I did
because
too.
it didn't. Not only did not have any of the characters I loved in it, well,
didn't
apart
look-
from C-3PO and R2-D2.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But it didn't. No, it didn't look like it. But the storytelling wasn't as seamless. The relationships weren't as seamless, and they had fucking Jar Jar Binks in it. And I was just
Yeah.
like, even as
There's
a
a lot of
child,
cartoon characters
even as a
in that.
child, that just annoyed me.
I don't even understand why George Lucas thought it would work because it's just a ridiculous character. He's too over the top. There's nobody in the world is that annoying.
I heard an
Or in the
amazing.
universe.
I heard an amazing theory once actually, which I wish had been real and they played it out. Was that because the way that Jar Jar moves, his movements, because he's kind of like he sort of flops around.
Yeah, he kind of
his
like,
movements are actually quite. There's a particular type of martial art, Japanese martial art,
Right.
which actually use those kinds of movements.
Right.
And there was a theory for a while that actually he was going to turn out to be like a Sith Lord. And that he'd been sort of like, because he does all these crazy movements, but he manages to somehow, like at one point he's got like a gun attached to his leg,
Yeah.
and he kicks it and magically manages to take out like 5
It's like slapstick.
stormtroopers or
yeah,
something.
it's like slapstick kind of thing.
Which it is, but
he
it's also
accidentally
like-
sort of tumbles into trouble and
Exactly,
that kind of thing,
but
yeah.
the way he tumbles is so kind of like artful.
Yes.
That there was a theory for a while that they were actually eventually going to turn him into a
villain.
He was actually going to have been a Sith the whole time, which would have been amazing.
I don't know if it would have been
maybe-
amazing.
Well, it would have been better than what he actually was.
to have him as the villain.
Yeah,
He's so stupid.
Can you imagine like him just turning in a moment and becoming actually
Becoming evil.
that dark character, and him actually have been a spy the whole time? It would be great.
It'd be fucking so strange, wouldn't it? It
When we
backfired
write the
massively because they
prequels-
totally turned him down for the second one and the third one. I mean, he's barely in them, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like got what cameo because he was so greatly disliked. But it's not just that's bad about the film. I mean, the acting is wooden.
The acting is awful. I mean, I feel like Natalie Portman was trying to carry the whole film,
Yeah.
basically. And I'm
I
sorry,
think-
like I like Ewan McGregor,
Yeah.
but I wasn't impressed with him in the movie
Yeah.
either.
I mean, when we watched,
he redeems
we did,
himself a bit
when
in
we
the
did
third.
a new what's it called? The Phantom Menace.
Mm-hmm.
When we did the Phantom Menace commentary, the only bit we all enjoyed was the pod race sequence, which goes on for
Yeah.
about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's actually
That was
really
good, yeah.
fun, and it feels like you're watching like Ben-Hur, like the chariot race or something
that
like
was
that.
really good.
It's got those really annoying double-headed aliens, though. They're really ridiculous. But so all of that excitement and everything, did you remember being disappointed at the time? Or was it...
I don't think I was kind of. I wasn't. I mean, I was a kid. It kind of like, oh, that was a movie. Next, you know, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't kind of club it in with the Star Wars movies I loved.
Mm.
I don't know. I sort of managed to kind of mentally detach them from the rest of the
the canon
yeah.
or whatever? Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
just kind of like saw it, thought I won't watch that again, and kind of carried on.
Did you?
Yeah.
I remember feeling like a massive disappointment, sense of
Mm.
disappointment in the days afterwards, that everything I've been waiting for was that. And then everything to do with Star Wars became so prequel obsessed. All the marketing and whatever was all about the prequel-y stuff. And then I lost my love for it.
Yeah.
I sort of fell out of love with Star Wars. Did that ever happen for you, or did you?
No, I mean, like, I was a bit more engaged in the second Star Wars, and I was the first.
Hmm.
And then I think I know I've seen the third, but I can't remember it.
Oh, really?
I think
You've literally only seen it once
yeah, I've
or
literally
something?
seen it once. I think I just saw it once just to say I'd seen it.
Most
and I
people
haven't
say it's the
returned to
best
it.
one, but I don't know.
I mean, I remember
if
bits and pieces from
it
it,
is.
but yeah. I mean, to be honest, I have made a promise to myself actually that I'm going to go back and watch the prequels.
If we'd met you like
I'm gonna
a
have
couple of
to.
months ago, you could have done them with us. We did them in December, I think. We did episode 3 in
Jesus.
December.
Because we're rewriting them, I'm going to have to sit down and watch
Yeah,
them
we
again.
are.
I have no
So-
choice.
Have you got any idea what you'd like to see in a rewritten Star Wars prequel? More female characters, I'm guessing, and not just some damsel in distress Padme kind of.
It'd be good to see some more female characters. Like as we talked about last time, I think that the narrative is right, like the story arc is right, but I think that obviously it could be better written. I really want to pick
Better
yours
written?
and better written.
Oh, better written, right? Yeah, right. Yeah.
But I really want to pick yours and Jude's brain about the law and all that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
see if there's an opportunity to weave in other things. I'm relying on you guys
Right.
for like law
Okay.
and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And I'll take that, and we can try and weave it
Yeah,
into
and
something.
before it's funny. I remember before the prequels were made, I watched like a Blue Peter special about Star Wars, and this was only when there was like 3 Star Wars films, and they said they explained why Darth Vader has the suit, and I had never even thought why does he have the suit.
Yeah.
Okay, and they explained that he fell in a pit, or he's fighting with Obi-Wan Kenobi, fell in a
Yeah.
pit and got burnt alive. So where did they get that from? Because the films hadn't come out by that point. So it must have been like in a book or something.
I don't know. I mean, I think like because George Lucas kind of wrote. He must.
Well,
have
he
written,
says he wrote.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's written some backstories and stuff.
Sorry, there's a dumb waiter in the room, one of those kind of like lifts for food. And it's like lighting up. I'm just expecting like Warwick Davis to come bursting out of it and like dressed as an Ewok and run around.
If
No.
there's a pizza in there, we're having it.
Oh, amazing. There's a place got a roof, you see. It's got a rooftop and a
Oh
second
my
floor.
god! So they're just shipping the pizza.
I think they're going straight up to the roof.
Wow,
And go up to the
that's
roof
fun.
afterwards, have a drink on the roof and look over freezing cold London. Sorry, I interrupted you. What are you talking about?
What was I talking about?
Oh, the good thing is we can go back and check. But I'm sorry, get back to it. Get
Prequels. He
back
fell
to
in
it.
lava. Why does he
Yeah.
wear the suit?
Yes.
We're talking about that.
How did they know? How did they know?
Oh, yeah,
so
and I was
George
saying
Lucas
George Lucas-
wrote the stories.
He says, well, I guess he says he wrote, like you said, he says he wrote the stories.
Yeah.
But
He didn't literally sit down and write them. I think what he did was he had like a rough idea for a first Star Wars film. It was so long that he basically shortened it down
Yeah.
to what you get for episode 1. Remember when they
Brilliant,
released
3.
episode 3, 4? When they released Star Wars, it was just called Star Wars. It wasn't called episode
Yeah.
4. They added that later. And then I think the prequels suffer from there's this real strong feeling that they are running out of time, and they've got to conclude and tie up ends quickly. They've only got 2 hours and 2 hours and 2 hours to do it in, and it feels like the reason why Natalie Portman dies is not because she gets killed in a sort of like heroic way. She loses the will to live.
I know that was
After giving birth. Who gives
Rubbish.
birth and then goes, just giving
Exactly.
birth to 2 children?
bad
I
enough.
don't give a fuck. I'm not even going to bother watching that. I mean, like, I don't parents have a bond with their children, even if their children are the children of a person that's become quite evil.
Yeah, I mean that was rubbish. I mean, at least if they'd said like, and also it doesn't tie in with then what was it? Was it Empire Strikes Back or was it Return of the Jedi? When Leia says when
Yeah,
he cast Leia
sorry, it's
about
Return
his
of the Jedi.
mother,
Yeah.
and she was like she was
It
very
doesn't
beautiful,
tie
but she
in.
was sad.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, where did that come from?
Clearly, she's sad because of what happened to Darth Vader, right?
Yeah.
So, exactly. It's as if George Lucas didn't even check his own films.
Yeah.
I know he didn't direct that third one, but he probably was heavily... I know he was heavily involved in it. But Yeah, it's just they're full of little mistakes like that. And
At
I'd
least
like
if they'd
to
just
make
gone
sure.
like, she died during childbirth. That's a thing.
Yeah.
It happens. Then
Yeah,
at
that
least
does
it could have
happen.
been like,
But in
you
the
know,
world of Star Wars-
But like, oh yeah.
Where you get your hand cut off and they make you a new one within
Well,
minutes.
true. Maybe that's why he did it. Maybe it's like, oh, it's not enough for her to die of natural causes. She has to lose the will to live. Awful.
Jude's theory is that she had a third child and they froze it and it was Ray.
How? Oh, Jesus. Wow.
That's a genuine theory Jude has.
That can't be genuine, surely.
I don't know, maybe he's being slightly sarcastic on it. But we
God,
can
I
ring him
hope
up, we
so.
can ask him.
We cannot ring him.
We can ring him, he's in
We cannot
France.
ring
It'll be
him.
hilarious.
We're not ringing Jude.
Okay, we won't ring him. Sorry, guys. Bradie's spoken.
He will not thank us for it. He's trying to have a holiday.
He's got a way to get away from us,
Exactly.
actually. Exactly, to get away from us. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's a good move to make. Go back and watch the original 3. Make notes about what you know from them, what you hear the big characters talking about. I think Obi when they unmask Darth Vader, he's pretty old. He's the same age as
Yeah.
Obi-Wan, really.
Yeah.
So they need to be. It can't be like a kid and a wise old man. It has to be more even. Darth Vader looks pretty old. He looks like 60 or something when they unmask
Yeah,
him.
true.
He's played
It's
by a
true.
really
He's
old
about
actor.
the same old age as Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan would have been.
Which would have been interesting, is actually to have them. Maybe we'll give away a little bit, but if you have them actually as two Padawans training together,
Yeah.
and actually maybe they're best friends, and then actually, or oh no, but he's his master.
Yes.
Everyone is his master.
He said he decided to train him. He thought he could train him as well as Yoda, and he was wrong. It doesn't say anything in the films about like the fact Yoda didn't want to train him or anything like that.
But I wonder
It's like
whether-
Yoda couldn't train him. Maybe Yoda wasn't around to train him.
I like the idea of them maybe finding Anakin at a time when he's actually a bit older.
Yeah.
And maybe him and
I think they should
Obi-Wan
start
are
the film
around the
as
same
adults.
age,
I mean,
but
they should be
Obi-Wan is
adults.
just further along in his training, so
Yeah.
he can be his master
Well, he
because
says
he's just further along in his training.
he says when I met your father, he was already a great pilot. And he says he was the best starfighter in the galaxy.
Oh, we're gonna have so much fun doing the prequels.
So I genuinely think he should already be he's like the Poe Dameron of the prequels.
Or maybe make
But
him younger.
he's also
I reckon
force
I'd put him
sensitive.
at about 16 or 17.
No, because then you've gone back way too far.
No, that's like a pivotal. I'm thinking narrative.
Oh,
That's
you're
like a
talking in
pivotal
terms of
tipping point.
okay, life changing
Yeah, they've got that angsty teenage thing going on at the same time.
Yeah.
I reckon we're gonna do that.
Okay. I'd try and push you on that to mid-20s. Only because I don't want a stroppy teenage boy Anakin.
We need a little bit of strop, I think.
Okay. I guess if you spread the
But if
films
you're a
out
fighter
quite a long
pilot-
distance, though, you're going to have...
Yeah, I mean, if you're 17 and you're a pilot, you won't be a child like we know a child to be.
No,
because
you'll be a child who's
you'll be
been
a child who's-
raised in war.
Exactly,
Yeah.
who will have seen some stuff.
Seen some shit.
Yeah.
You're like, but he's been flying as a pilot because they need him. Because he's really talented as well.
Oh,
you know
our
what I mean?
prequel's going to be so good.
They will be good. But I think he should also be played by a British actor.
Well,
Because
we don't
Darth
really
Vader's
have
British.
much. We don't really have much choice because
It's got to be Michael
We're in
Fassbender
England.
for me. But
Or
not
just
a
bring him
16-year-old,
up. He lives in East London. We could probably just knock on his
Yeah,
door.
we could probably go down there and say, how would you like to play Anakin Skywalker in the Blah Wars? What we could do, actually, we could set up a Kickstarter and hit a target of like 100 million. Get our listeners to try and do it. The good thing about Kickstarter is if you don't achieve the money in 30 days, if you don't achieve the level, you have no obligation to make the product.
I guess I have an idea
we
of how many
could at
people
least
actually
try.
listen to the show.
Yeah, and then what we could do with that 100 million is buy out Disney and then buy the franchise off them, or buy the rights to remake episodes 1, 2 and 3. I reckon they're going to want a lot of money, so...
Yeah,
and whatever's
true.
left will be our budget for the films.
So a tenner.
You probably... everyone will have
That's
to
fine. We've got the mics.
all our listeners can have a role in the film. We're not going to be that mad about quality.
Well, Jude would disagree with you.
Well, we're definitely doing the audios.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Rewrite
We
them as
can't-
audios
Yeah, we
and
have,
then
which will be
perform them.
interesting. Which will be an interesting exercise because writing to be heard and writing to be seen are two different things.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be a fun challenge.
If the story's there, it should work.
The
It's an
story
audio
will be
play.
there.
Yeah. I can't wait to sit around and do this. I
It's
really
gonna be
can't.
fun.
It'll just be really fun. We should do it over pints and food and just have a massive brainstorming
We're
session.
going to need a few brainstorming sessions, but yeah.
Big pile of Star Wars books for reference.
Honestly,
You
yeah, we're
shout an
literally
idea
going to
out,
have to do
and
that.
I'm going to canon check it.
That's literally what we're going to have to do.
While you keep on feeling stuff out. All right, awesome. Have you heard the news today?
This is the Leia.
Oh,
chat.
this is so fucking
I know.
ridiculous. Look, guys, I mean, so just in case anyone doesn't know, there's a group on Facebook or online, an online petition, which is demanding that Meryl Streep be cast as Princess Leia in the next Star Wars film
Yep.
to replace Carrie Fisher. Well, they've just rewritten 9
Yeah.
to exclude Carrie Fisher's character. So why would they even consider this?
So when I read
and
the
also,
story-
does Meryl Streep? Has anyone actually asked Meryl Streep if she's even remotely interested?
Well, apparently, so Carrie Fisher wrote and directed a movie, and then Meryl Streep played the leading role, I think, in that film, and they became very close during filming. So I think, but so people are like, oh, and she's gotten so many awards and nominations that, you know, she'll be able to play Carrie Fisher. It's like, she's not supposed to play Carrie Fisher, she's supposed to play Leia.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can't do that. It just wouldn't be right. Also, they've rewritten it. So, but in the article as well, they said that something about, oh, you know, apparently she's already been approached for the role, and it's like, well, no, because JJ said that they were rewriting it, then they weren't going to bring Carrie Fisher back as CGI.
I don't know how they're going to do it though. I mean, unless they set the film so far after The Last Jedi that in the intervening years she's died.
Well, I'm wondering whether the first sentence in Episode 9 is going to be General Leia Organa is dead.
What, you mean the opening crawl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering whether that's going to be the first
That
line.
would be
It would be
very easy way of solving the problem,
easy, but
wouldn't
I
it?
just don't know how they're going to reconcile that with all the Star Wars fans. But then again, you know, if they,
no
I would
other
hate it
fitting
if they
way.
brought her back as CGI. It would be awful.
Yeah, it would be. I'm pretty sure they
Unless it
CGI'd her
began-
slightly in the Last Jedi though. For
Yeah,
that
well,
space sequence.
they did in Rogue One, like proper.
Oh yeah, no,
young
they did, yeah,
CGI.
blatantly. yeah.
And that's the
It
thing.
doesn't
It's
look
like it doesn't
quite
look.
like her.
No, it doesn't look quite right.
No,
It looks like CGI.
it does a bit.
And also, if they were going to do it, they only have to do it for like a few seconds anyway, because
They've
it
got
would
like a
just be
full
awful.
body scan of her though. You know, now when they're for continuity reasons, they photograph you with like a 360 camera thing round you.
It's crazy. It's just
And
in
then
case you. Just in case you die.
Well,
they
it's
can-
sort of with that they can then first of all, if they want to correct your performance at all, they can digitally correct it.
Wow. That's got to suck for actors.
Oh, it
They
got
must
really
hate
bad
that.
a couple of years ago because not Jack Black, the guy that made the Lord of the Rings films. Director.
Oh, Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson made a King Kong film, and there's a scene taking place on a boat. It was obviously just a model boat on a green set,
Yeah.
bobbing up and down, and it was like a storm, and they're blowing all water around. And Jack Black and I can't remember who else was in that film, various characters in that movie. There's like footage of Peter Jackson saying, "No, don't worry about your facial expressions. Don't worry about that. We'll do that later." Like, that's done with post.
That's awful.
That's like, what the fuck is the actor for then?
No,
Just to
I
wear the
know.
clothes?
I know,
If
it's
they're not
crazy.
even going to CGIing faces on. But the same thing happened in one of the Hobbit. Did you see the last Hobbit film?
Yeah. All the
Billy
reviews
Connolly
great.
was in that film.
Yeah.
What the hell was going on with his face? It was like a cartoon of Billy Connolly's face, like stuck onto a man's face. Did you not notice that?
No.
Watch it again. Something weird is going on. It's like
Wait, what character was he playing?
he was playing a dwarf, like one of the superior dwarfs at the end of that big kind of fight that takes place outside the castle with all the gold
Oh my
in.
god! Oh wait, no, yeah, he wasn't that.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
I know he's quite ill, and I think he's got dementia or something, or maybe Parkinson's or something like that. He's quite ill. However, I think in his current state, he's absolutely fine. I mean, he's still working, doing comedy. He's just slowing things down a little bit. But I couldn't really understand why they've... It's like they've scanned his face and then made like a computerised version of his face. And it
Wow.
looks really... When you watch it again, maybe you'll notice it looks very unusual. I've only
I
seen
guess I
it
just
once.
assumed they were wearing prosthetics and stuff.
No, it's like it's almost as if he refused to actually turn up. So they filmed him in London and then sort of shot his face stuck it onto another actor.
Well, JJ said that they'd rewritten the thing and that they weren't
This is
going to
9.
CGI. Yeah, they weren't going to CGI Carrie. So I
Out
hope
of respect.
I hope that he sticks to that.
Mm-hmm.
Although her daughter gave them permission to do it, but he said they weren't going to. So I'm hoping that stays. So I wonder whether the whole thing will start with maybe her funeral, but would that be a bit like bad taste?
Not really. I don't think it would, because then it would be quite a nice way of sort of saying goodbye to the character. Because we didn't get that with Han Solo. We got like a really nice scene where he like touches his son's face.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you know when he does that, he puts his hand on Clarence's face. He puts his hand exactly where the scar goes.
Have you heard some theories about that he pulled the trigger? That he shoved the saber into his own.
I don't think it's true though, because the stuff in the Last Jedi sort of suggests it's not true.
Yeah.
Because Kylo Ren is really conflicted by what he's done.
He feels, he's pretty guilty about that.
He draws a lot of pain off it.
Yeah.
That's why he thumps himself in the snow. He's thumping his wound because it's painful. It makes him more cross.
Apparently that and the thing of like to spike his adrenaline.
He
doesn't pass out. We clearly read
He's
the
cool.
same.
No,
we read the same
websites
fanzines,
and stuff. Yeah, definitely, we do. I think it's cool, but the idea of Meryl Streep, like
I love Meryl.
I do too. The Deer
I love
Hunter,
Meryl,
my
but
favourite
but
thing she ever
that
did.
was...
I literally fell in love with her when I saw the Deer Hunter.
Yeah, she was stunning. She said it's stunning.
She's
but
stunning.
it's
not
it
so
wouldn't
much
be
when I
right.
watched her as Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah, not so, not so much.
Yeah, she's great. She absolutely delivers. I don't think she looks very much like Carrie Fisher.
No, I just don't think it would be right.
Yeah.
I just don't know. We're not convinced.
No, exactly.
We're vetoing.
No. I'm saying no to that. I mean, like, no good has ever come from like a Facebook
Besides,
campaign,
it's
apart
only,
from
like-
that one time when Rage Against the Machine got to number 1, which was pointless anyway.
But that was millions of people downloading that song, which was great fun. But this is like 10,000 people. Not even 10,000 people have signed that petition yet. And it's like, what are 10,000 people going to do for Disney? I mean, 10,000 people want it to happen, and then potentially millions of Star Wars fans would riot if it did.
Exactly, and exactly. Star Wars fans may not want it to happen. The writing team may not want it to happen because they've just spent ages rewriting the film to avoid Princess Leia.
Exactly.
And Meryl Streep may not wish to have a go at playing Princess Leia. No one's nailed that part yet. I think I might have a go at that.
Can you imagine? Like, if you were Meryl, you look at that and be like, that's just that's a problem waiting to happen. I'm not going anywhere near that.
It's absolute disaster. I asked some of our listeners to send us Star Wars tattoos. Have you got any tattoos?
I have 2.
Do you?
Yeah, I've got that there.
Oh yeah. So she's Bradie's showing me her wrist, and she's got like a kind of flowery
Henry type thing.
Yeah, looks
so that's
nice.
just because I was 18 and I could, which is
It's quite
not a
blue.
good excuse to have a tattoo, guys.
Yeah. It's a
And then
colourful one.
But then the other one is on the back of my neck, which I like more, but
Oh.
I think it's because
Yeah.
I can't see it, but it's got the same kind of...
Very nice. I had no idea that was even there. So that's because you always got your hair down.
Same kind
We
of henna
received
thing.
some amazing things sent to us by listeners. Do you want to have a look at some of these?
Yeah, definitely.
So Gooch has been in touch, and he's got a pretty good Harrison Ford on one arm.
Wow. Blimey.
That's pretty amazing.
I know a guy who's getting a whole leg
Navy.
sleeve
Right.
full of his favourite vampires.
His favourite vampires.
Yeah, he's got Gary Oldman, he's got...
Oh, as in people who portrayed vampires.
Gary Oldman, I think he's getting...
He's not getting Spike from
Kirsten
Buffy on
Dunst.
there, is he?
He's got Spike from Buffy
Oh,
on
no,
there, I
really?
know. He's got Kirsten
James
Dunst.
Masters.
He's
God.
got Kate Beckinsale. He's got a woman who played Queen of the Damned.
Yeah.
I mean, she looks awesome.
she's cool though.
Her and Gary Oldman look amazing.
Yeah, Gary Oldman always looks amazing. He was Mason
got him
Verger. We
with
were talking
the,
about him last week.
Oh, God,
Of course,
yeah.
I forget that was even him. He's such a good
God,
actor.
oh my God, I didn't even...
Do you know who his sister is? Gary Oldman's sister?
No, who?
Big Mo from EastEnders.
Wow.
I'm not even fucking kidding.
Wow.
Have you seen Gary Oldman's directed films? He made one called Nil by Mouth, starring Kathy Burke as a poor woman who is beaten mercilessly by her drunk, violent husband, played by Ray Winston. Oh, you've got to see it. I mean,
good.
Kathy Burt, right? Comedian, really amazing, funny
yeah.
woman, and great writer, playing this poor woman being violently abused by a drunk husband, and it's directed by Gary Oldman, and I think he's actually in it as well, and I think he wrote it as well. It's a masterpiece, but nobody knows that this guy. Everyone just thinks Gary Oldman, amazing actor, he's a master of prosthetics, everything. He can play anyone, really. God, he'd be good in a Star Wars film. Oh my God, would he be good?
Let me do the podcast.
Yeah, I'll bring him on. But yeah,
You should
Big
just
Mo.
tweet, private message a bunch of people on Twitter and see who responds.
Let's do a spin-off podcast where we just talk about Gary Oldman. We go through every single one of his movies and just swoon over them. Gooch has also got an amazing
Wow.
Vader one.
That's cool.
I mean, absolutely
I like the reflections
amazing.
on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It's so metallic. He must be dead, Jeff. That's on his. It's like around his wrist, isn't it?
Nice.
The colour on that.
Yeah,
Absolutely
that's
gorgeous.
good.
So thank you for sending those to us, Gooch. Right, Sknit. Right, remember Sknit from last week?
Yeah.
Sknit? Yes, how are we going to say that? Sknit?
I don't know. We just have to make a decision.
He tells us what it's for. That is the sound which Wolverine's claws make in the X-Men comics.
that
When they
is-
come out, they say Sknit every time in like
Wow.
this big yellow lettering in the comics.
Wow.
But I never read them, but he showed me a screenshot and I was like, God, that's genius.
Blimey, that is
what
genius.
a great Instagram name. He sent us this one on his hand, and it's a terrifying, like Vader, half skull with all roses around it. Really spooky. It kind of reminds me of like Day of the Dead.
I was going to say Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really eerie and unique. Usually it's like a picture from something silly from Star Wars, or I think it's terrifying. But yeah, it spooked me out. Anyway, Star Losers, who is also a podcaster. In fact, I think Star Losers is the podcast channel. Sent us this guy's leg. So on one side of his
that's
bicep,
Yoda.
it's Yoda, and then on the other side, it's Vader.
Balance the Force.
Pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. Balance of the leg, balance of the force. Pretty good ones there. This was my favourite, absolute favourite, and you'll see why. Okay, the Sailor Jerry's bottles.
Yes.
They've got the lady, the Sailor
Yeah.
Jerry's like pin-up girl tattoo. So this lady, her name's Margaret. She's got one of Rey,
Wow.
which looks amazing, and one of Leia as Boosh in the disguise, someone who loves you. Aren't they great?
Oh, wow.
Really beautiful. And then the best of all, though, this is my absolute favourite, elsewhere on her body, she's got to Alderaan and back, a lovely big Ewok, Wicket, right? And he's in a cup of tea, standing in a cup of tea, and then on the cup of tea she's got Leia from the medal ceremony.
Wow.
And I said, what's the cup of tea about? And she's basically saying, I just like tea. So has loads of tea, loves it. And she thought that the Ewoks don't get enough love.
It's true.
And Carrie's a hero, and she wanted to tribute her. So I think they've gone up. The popularity of people's affection for Princess Leia. Everything's gone Leia mad. I'm not sure what's going on with this arm. Oh my God, I know what it is. So this fella's Ricky B666. This got sent to us by a guy called Gassy04. And he sent us this. I'm not sure if it's his arm and someone else took a photo of it, but that is like a full-on
That's
shoulder.
a lot going on. Wow.
It's very dark,
Got a
and you've
Death
got
Star
Death
being
Star,
built.
Boba Fett, Star
Yeah.
Destroyers, TIE Interceptors, Vader overlooking the whole thing. I think that's
Cosmos.
Endor or something behind it. Yeah, insane amount of detail. It
Wow.
must have been seriously painful.
It's taken hours, possibly even days.
Yeah, repeat visits.
Yeah.
Can you imagine rocking up and saying, "This is what I want"? How do you even tell the tattoo artist this is what I want?
Do you know what? That's a good question.
Because
I
you
have
obviously
no idea.
gradually add to it.
Would you go in with like a picture, or do they kind of do
Or do you
it?
point? Or do you sort of like? Do they kind of? I
they
don't know. This
design
is the
it?
thing.
Tell
How
us.
did you do yours? Did you go in with a drawing and say, I want this?
I was rubbish. I just picked it off the wall.
Picked it off the wall. Okay, and then they literally copied it and put it on your
They
arm.
put it on a stencil. They kind of stencil it on and then go over the top. But I imagine the guys who do this
Yeah.
might stencil some of it potentially, but they must just do a lot of it from their own skill.
Insane. I mean, absolutely insane. This is really cool as well. This is from Kim
How
Williams
do tattoo
Photography.
artists practice? Are there people somewhere like that tattoo
Guinea pigs.
students just kind of
must
practice
be.
on?
I know
They
someone
practice on like
who's
dead
a big
animals.
Liverpool.
And that sounds awful, but
Oh
like pigs or something. I
no,
don't
but
know.
you made me remember a film where I think it might be a film, but it might not be real. But something where a guy
You're
a
about
guy
to tell
had a
me.
job where he had to use a scalpel and cut the tattoos off dead people.
Wow.
Off their dead bodies and then graft them onto living people. It might be.
What the
It might be
hell?
made up. It might be made up. I
Yeah.
thought it sounded really interesting. Like
Wow.
a cool idea. But Kim Williams Photography. She actually had a photo on her Instagram. I follow her. She's really cool. Check her out. And I said to her on her arm, "Have you got a Star Wars tattoo?" Because I know she's a big Star Wars fan. And she's got this amazing Carrie Fisher Rebellion thing. Like, it's like done in like a
Oh,
kind of
that's
spray
cool.
paint Banksy style.
I like that.
How good is that? So thank you guys for sending us all these lovely tattoo
Amazing.
pictures. Keep them coming. That's what I say. Want to see more tats? I don't think I'll be getting one anytime
I was going to say, have
soon.
you got any Star
I don't
Wars
have
tattoos?
a tattoo.
None
I don't have
at
any
all?
tattoos, let alone a Star Wars tattoo.
You're a tabula rosa, blank canvas.
Yeah. I might get a tattoo done someday.
To be
I'll
honest,
go for
if
something
I
really
could have my
classy, you know, like
time
my
again-
daughter's name all around my neck. No, not really.
If I could have my time again, I wouldn't have the one on my wrist
Why?
because I was 18 and it was a bad choice.
Okay.
I don't
That's
mind the
why
one on the back of my
I never
neck.
got one. I never got one because I was frightened that
You'd regret it.
yeah, like if the 18-year-old me had gone to a tattoo parlour, I'd have like a fucking Van Halen logo on my arm or something like that. And that would be incredibly embarrassing because Van Halen aren't exactly that legendary a band, are they? I mean, great guitarist, Eddie,
Yeah.
but no one wants the Van
No, I
Halen
don't-
logo on their body.
I don't find either of my tattoos particularly like offensive or really
No.
annoying. I just, if
They're
I had my
tasteful.
time again, I would maybe not get the one on my wrist done. But you know, I don't know. I don't hate it.
Talking of 80s movies,
Mm-hmm.
I went to see an all-night marathon of 80s films at the Prince Charles Cinema a couple of years ago. Been talking to you about 80s films
yes.
at that cinema. They're really good. If no one else knows about this, get down to Prince Charles Cinema in Leicester Square. 15 quid and you get to see 6 movies all night long, 9 a.m. till like 8 a.m. the next morning.
I'd be ill.
6 back to back. They do all 6 Lord of the Rings films with the
Jesus
Hobbits as well.
Christ.
But they do.
Did you fall asleep?
Yeah, you can fall asleep like at any point you want.
Did you fall asleep?
Yeah, I fell asleep. There was 6 movies on, and they were all fantasies.
many did you see?
Dark Crystal, Return to Oz.
How many did you physically watch?
I watched 5 of them. I fell asleep in
Okay.
the final one, which was Neverending Story, which is actually one of my favourites.
Oh, I love that.
But at the time, I used to smoke. A couple of years ago, this was. And I remember after the third break, after seeing Labyrinth, I moved, or maybe Labyrinth
Love
was
Labyrinth.
next. Labyrinth was next. And I was standing outside having a cigarette, and there was a girl dressed as a great big cat, and just because everyone goes in their pajamas, basically, you know. And she is standing there talking to me, and she said to me, I said to her, "Labyrinth is next, isn't it?" And she goes, "Yeah, Labyrinth is next." She goes, I said, "I'm really forward to them." She goes, "Oh, I love Labyrinth." And she lifted her leg up, trouser leg up, and she had the worm from the wall, hello. But it was like photographic, like all over her leg, and it looked amazing. So I'd never seen anyone love Labyrinth that much.
Did I tell you this about Toby, who plays a little boy in Labyrinth?
No.
So Toby plays the baby.
Okay.
Grew up to become a puppeteer, and I
Right.
think he works for Jim Henson. But
Really?
the reason I know that is because my old drama teacher at college, knew him.
That's fucking amazing. I know a guy
wild.
who I've talked about this on the show before. He auditioned for Short Round in Temple
wow.
of Doom, and he got through to the final 5.
Oh, God.
Was flown from East London all the way to LA, and auditioned in front of Spielberg.
Oh my god, that must have been
And didn't get it because he lost
crazy.
out to that young guy who I can't remember his name now. Sorry, the Chinese kid. but his...
God, can you imagine getting so close?
Yeah. But his dad
God.
was always trying to get him to do acting as a kid. They were really trying to push him to do acting. He ended up being an amazing like studio manager and graphic designer and things. But he maintains that had he have got the role, he would have gone on to become the kid Data from the Goonies as well. But by association that he's also cast, he assumes that would have been given to him as well. So this little kind of Cockney Asian kid, in these Indiana Jones movies, yeah. Thanks for coming on the show this week. You up for joining us next week when Jude's back? We can find out what he's up to on holiday.
What are we going to talk about?
Whatever the news is next week. It's getting harder because the drought is coming now, and in the build up to Han Solo, which we're definitely going to, yeah.
Oh yeah,
joining us for that.
Yeah, for sure.
We might get Rice to come as well, so we might have a 4-way episode of Blah Wars on the day that Han Solo comes out.
Amazing.
Exciting. We'll get you. It'll be IMAX. You're not paying for the ticket. We'll pay for the ticket. We're going to it's going to be great.
Hope you know that, Jude.
Just get the day off work, okay?
Okay.
So that's the Thursday.
I won't have a problem doing that.
But yeah, we'll do. Yeah, we're both freelancers, right? So
Exactly.
we can just say I'm not coming in. Han Solo. Simple as that.
Yeah.
There's lots of trading cards and stuff are starting to appear online now of all from the film. So lots of little sneaks into it. But
So apparently, I haven't seen it yet. Maybe we'll have to watch it after this. Maybe report about it next week. But the Denny's advert.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It's a bit
Apparently
it's like a cantina scene.
Yeah,
So
apparently
you get
it's
to
got,
see lots of weird
yeah.
aliens, completely new characters, and Chewie.
Maybe we can chat about that next week.
Yeah,
Potentially.
it's a lovely little advert. Check it out.
Okay.
But it's got a little twist in it. It's not quite what you think. It's blatantly an advert for this fast food thing. Where's Denny's? A cafe, restaurant?
I think it's a chain of cafes. I'm not sure. Any of our American
diners.
listeners want
diners
to tell us what Denny's is?
Yeah, what's Denny's? let us know.
We
We'd love
don't
to
know.
All right then, I've been John Galantini.
I've been Bradie Tippett.
Thank you for joining us this week. Keep love and likes coming in. And may the force be with you. Bye!